to the Literary Labyrinth podcast.
Hey!
Welcome on in. This is our part 3 of discussing the book Shields of Sparrow by Devney Perry. So thank you for continuing this journey with us. And if you're new here, please make sure you check out our previous episodes where we discussed the beginning parts of the book, part 1 and part 2. But again, maybe you've already read it and you wanted to skip to this, in which case, welcome on in. We are, so let us introduce ourselves first and foremost. My name is Leela. I'm a nerd for books. I like escapism, fantasy, and all the things that let me escape reality.
And my name is Linda, and I'm permanently exhausted, but I love reading.
Yeah, we're two sisters, one who reads fast
and one that reads slow.
Yeah, it's hard being a mom, I'm sure. I guess. I don't know these things, but you
tired.
do.
It's summer, okay? It's summer
the summer
here.
halls.
And
the
yeah,
summer halls.
I'm already exhausted. But yeah, gotta get up on my reading, gotta catch up.
That's it. You're like, I'm sacrificing myself for this.
Guys, go over there. I've got to catch up on Shields of Sparrow. So yeah, we've read up to chapter 20. So this time we're going to be reading chapters 21 to 31. And we left Odessa in a place called Treehouse, which is basically a little town made up of trees in Endor. And everyone lives in a tree. And everybody lives in a tree house.
There are no Ewoks. Disappointing, but
there aren't. But there's like grizzly bears with things in their back.
You can't cuddle them.
Wolves. No, and wolves that will kill you. So yeah, that's a cool thing.
Yeah, I suppose. Beggars can't be choosers. But anyway, so she just had another training session with the Guardian, and she's like, oh, probably gonna have to betray all these people. But apparently Turin's loyalty runs deep, and she's basically kicked off chapter 21 going, I hate Trio.
Yeah, and she hates the Guardian. He trains her too much, and she just hates, I hate him, the end. So yeah, I think he's just been like pushing her a little bit too much and trying to, but I really don't understand why he's training her. Like, is it just to see her like fall flat on her ass, or has he got some alternative motive?
He's definitely got an ulterior motive. Definitely. They like we discussed in a previous episode, they definitely know more than she does, even about herself, I think. So yeah, but anyway, she's training. She hates him. Hate.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
And then after another grueling training session, she goes back home and realizes she hasn't seen her handmaids. Those awful, not awful, but just crap. They
shouldn't be called handmaidens. They should just be called people that are there. They don't really do anything. I mean, maybe they did when they were in Quentis, but they haven't done anything since they've come with her.
She can't find them. She can't find them. She's been in this treehouse, and she's like, where actually are they? I'm going to go find them. So she goes off trying to find them, and she bumps into Mariette, who is like sort of the person who kind of looks after Trio. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, you Princess Odessa Wolf. And she's like, Odessa Wolf. Follow me, Odessa. And she just like says like, walks off. Like she's like totally, like just disrespected her.
Yeah, she just sort of frowns and goes, and then goes away. And she's like, okay.
Yeah. But that's how she meets when she walks away. And another girl says, don't mind her. My name's Kathleen. And she's like, oh, so she meets this other girl called, is it Kathleen? Yeah. Kathleen?
I think I say Kathleen. I say Kathleen because it's spelled Cathlin, but I'd say Kathleen. So yeah, let's go with Kathleen.
Yeah, and she's been like taking her around the village or wherever this is place. And she says, oh, I really want to go to the library. She's like, no, it's not open. And she's like, oh, right. But she goes, because I'm the librarian. But I can give you a sneaky look. Boop, boop, boop.
Well, the other thing straight off the bat, I like Kathleen because when she held out her hand to just say, like, when our palms touched, she clasped mine with both of hers. So she's like properly gone, good to meet you, like that. It was a hug for my hand. I missed hugs. I know, I'm
Oh,
just
God.
like, oh, and then she's thinking about Arthie, her brother, stepbrother,
Yeah,
whatever, and she's just like,
this girl has no physical affection in
no
her life.
contact.
No, nobody
Yeah,
wants
it's
to
like,
talk to her. Her husband's a wannabe mute, so yeah.
yeah,
No,
he's a
no,
wannabe, he's a wannabe mute.
he's a wannabe
Like
mute.
it. He doesn't
So,
commit to the role 100%, but he wants to.
so yeah, she gets to go to this. Kathleen takes her to the library to have a look around, and she's got an alternative motive. She's trying to find like maps and things about like
Intel. Yeah.
intel. Exactly. I don't think it's going to be in the library, but girl,
Mm-mm.
like familiarize yourself. Maybe it'll give you ideas about what other things are there.
Yeah.
But
There
while
could be
she's
clues.
yeah,
Clues.
but while she's there, there's a book about a year spent in Quintus. And she's like, ooh, well, remind me of home. And they're all like traitors, liars, thieves. Like they are despicable people. And she's like,
I have to say, yeah, this person does not write up a good a review
TripAdvisor.
on Quintus. They're like, it's a piece of shit.
TripAdvisor was 1 star for Quintus, and she is no liking it. So she takes that book like reluctantly out and is like, I'm gonna find out what the hell why he hate this place.
It's like, what do you mean? So we meet Kathleen. She's a librarian. She seems lovely. She wants to see if she can find a detailed map to Elisaria,
It's not bad.
but she's obviously not mentioning that. So yes, she takes out that book that you mentioned. She takes out, I think, something about Chura, the wilds of Chura, and
Sure, girl.
something else. Try to get an idea of it. But yes, this man Samuel Hay has not written a very good TripAdvisor on her hometown, so she's
Yeah.
quite upset about that.
But then, yeah, she leaves the library, goes home, and she finally bumps into Brielle, and she's not having a good time
Oh
because she
yeah,
has to stay with Mariette, the one that
oh yeah,
and
the one that
and
huffed her just
after
before.
her.
Yeah,
Yeah, and she's like, "Can I get you a bath?" and all this kind of stuff, and she's like, "No, it's okay. I'm just gonna spend my day reading." I mean, she's
it's
terrible.
it. It's a little bit, yeah, yeah, I mean, what do you want to do, Brielle? Like, yeah, anyway.
Yeah, so she's off
But
reading for the day.
I do love that when she's reading, she's just like, why? There's a bit she's talking about the Samuel Hay book, and she's like, piece
Oh,
of
yeah.
shit, Phil.
Yeah, he's like, what does it in this book? He calls the country a land of thieves and traitors.
Mm.
Rosalo, which is our hometown, is a cesspool of immorality. And her father, and he says that her father was a murderer. That Gold King was behind more than one assassin, including the death of the Queen, her mother.
So that's the other thing, because she's like, he would never do that. He's a lovely guy. Da 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 da.
Could he? Why? What?
What's happened there? I don't know. Suspicion. I mean, we
It,
don't have that much information about her father to make a distinct thing,
um,
other than he's never been, well, from what we understand, he's never been mean to her. It's just he's never really cared much. He's just gone, me, and that's it.
Yeah, but it's weird to see that's the view that other places take of Quintus because we've already got like her view, which is it's really rich. It's like this lovely seaside town.
But it's
Everybody's
very
like,
one note. She doesn't have any like deep rooted feelings about it. She's just like, yeah, people seem not like, she's coming from the sheltered princess outlook.
doesn't see, yeah, what it actually really is, and that's maybe what other people see is like, no, it's like, yeah, dangerous there. So yeah, so she finds that and she's looking at that until she hears that
Well,
what
she has
is
a
she
bad
goes.
dream,
Yeah,
doesn't
she has
she?
a bad dream. That's it. And she has a dream that like Brielle is like dead and screaming, and she could
And
hear
she said,
claws like scratching at her and all this kind of stuff. And
out.
she's like, "Oh my god! Like monsters are gonna kill my
Yeah,
handmaidens." And then,
it cut Brielle's body in two, swallowing entrails in a single gulp. So this dream is not pleasant.
no, like,
So so
and then she
yes,
wakes
but
up.
then she wakes up, doesn't she? She goes,
Yeah,
nightmares, it's the
and
nightmares.
she's like, "Oh, I can still hear the scratching." of the claws. It's coming from outside.
Yeah.
And she goes outside, and it turns out there was a lion wick sharpening its 5-inch claws on the trunk of my tree. So we now have a lion wick.
So new more. It's like you
New
need to go
monster.
through this book and literally, I was thinking about writing new monster. Here's this monster and this monster because I'm losing track of all of these monsters.
We got a barrow wheel, we got a grizzle, we got I think it's a Barry wolf.
Sparrow something.
Barry wolf. And now it's a lion wick. And yep, so they look like a
Oh, there was
mountain
another
lion.
one. There's another one. The one that's like the poison that she had.
Oh, the fennec. Fennec?
There it
Fennel.
goes. Ding, ding, ding. Bingo card.
Yeah. So yeah, their hides, the lionwick's hides are used to make the most expensive coats and gloves and hats. So, oh, right, but
Oh
their teeth
no.
and claws are really black. So she's just like, oh crap, it's outside my house. What am I going to do? But thank God I've got no like ladder. But then she realizes they're mountain lions, so they can climb trees.
Yeah.
So she does.
Yeah. Anyway, could you imagine a mountain lion trying to get up a ladder? That'd be hysterical.
But she kind of like goes away and she's like, oh crap, I need the guardian. And he's there and he's just like, she's just like, are you going to kill it? And he's like, no.
Yeah, where is he? He's like on another tree top, like near,
He's living next door. He's living next door at the treehouse.
and it's so funny because he's like, shh, and she's like, you gotta deal with that. He's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna deal with it.
And he's just like,
She's like,
yeah,
what?
are you going to let it live? And he's like, I'm busy tonight.
I love that
Love
he's
that.
just such a sassy. He's pure sass every time. She's like, doing what? And he's just smirking, and then off
She
he
gets
goes.
jealous again. She's like, what's he doing? Is he sleeping with? Who's he with? Which woman? And I'm like, oh my God, girl, you got to rein that in. Rein it in now. Like, you're
I
married.
know. And she's like, who he invited into his bed? She's like, I'm married. I'm married. It's like, are you, hun? Like, who cares at this point? Like, Xavier's not even around. She's like, I didn't care. Anyway, she goes back to bed, hoping that the thing's just going to go away. It's fine. And
You wouldn't sleep. Yeah.
no,
That's
she
it.
wouldn't.
Yeah. But the next day, she kind of goes down, has a look around, and Tilia, is it Tilia? Tilia's there instead of the
Tilia, yeah.
guardian. And she's like, oh, the guardian has asked that we train together instead today. And she's like, oh, great. I am so excited.
I love that she just says jackass all the time. And she's like, he'd said you say that. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, well then I guess he's got me all figured out, hasn't he?
Yeah. So she asked Tilly, she's like, you know, there was a lion wick around here. And she's just like, and she's like, yep, it was trapped and taken to the mountains this morning. She's just like, what? Like, just
Yeah,
a
they
comment,
didn't
like,
seem to
trapped,
kill
and
it.
that's it. They don't get to kill it.
Yeah, they didn't seem to kill it. It's something to do. Well, I get it was very Lion King. It's the balance, she says, about you don't just go around killing all the lion wicks because they don't actually cause too much of a problem. It's just when you have to kill them, then okay, you're gonna kill them. But when you don't need to, we'll just put it back where it was. And I was like, it's a circle of life.
Circle of life. So yeah,
She was saying how in Quentis, if that had happened, they'd immediately kill it.
yeah, they go that if they see it anywhere in the countryside, it's just dead. Even if it hasn't done anything, dead. So yeah.
So now the thing about it being plausible that her dad might just be a complete murderer, we don't know.
They're just like, so any monster in Quintus was dealt with just death. So yeah, but she was saying that to Tilia, oh yeah, we're all connected. And she goes, was that why the gods had created the crooks to balance the human population? Like, is this through another way or something? And I'm like, oh, is this like
Interesting.
really
Yeah,
weird.
that's a
Like,
good
they're
theory.
getting too big for their so let's get them and get the cruxes to kill them all.
Well, I mean, look at our population; it's way over the top. We're like,
Well, birth rates are declining, so it's gonna go down. Don't worry.
yeah, it dips and it comes back up again. Yeah, for sure.
I know, thanks.
But it's funny. So she starts her session with Tilia, and she's
Yes.
having the fight. But
She thought it would be easier, but it's not easier with Tilia.
no, Tilia's pretty hardcore.
So yeah, she's having to train with her, and she just says, "Your footwork is like, she goes, like you're getting better. Your footwork is no longer atrocious. Your balance isn't as weak, but your form is sloppy. And she's like, wow, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm so happy. And she's like, okay, maybe what you need to do is just, what did she tell her to do? I'm trying to remember. She said,
So she's just asking her, she's just training and she's like teaching her how to do things, but she's just teaching her how to like pivot and just get some balance and help with her form, because I think that's the other thing. Before she can even like get a weapon, she can't even do anything like that.
that's it. Yeah. So she has to put the weapons down. The thing is, in this period where they're going through the training, she asks her, about Xavier, quite rightly so. And, but she also says, do you know if Xavier will be coming to Trio like anytime? She's like, I don't know. He's traveling from Paris to Elder. And she's like, is he going to leave me here forever? And she just starts drinking and draining her cup. She went,
Yeah.
and that means yes, great.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. You're going to be like doing that. So yeah, she's just, but when she's taking a drink, like, isn't there like somebody that comes up to her, like a boy, and he sees her
Yeah.
eyes, he just runs away, like, from her?
That's right. They said that they don't have many strangers or people that aren't known. So it's that don't take offense too much because they're just freaked out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But then all of a sudden, like, there's the big commotion and everyone's running to like the open square because something's happening. And Tilia
Yes.
just goes, stay here. And you're like, oh God, what the hell is it now? And it turns out, like, who's come is King Ramsay of Tura. So, like, her daddy-in-law.
Yeah. So this is a moment that you think, hey, maybe you should reveal yourself because he's obviously come from where you need to go. And
Mhm.
they're not gonna, like, Xavier's pissed off and everybody else isn't telling you anything. So maybe you need to go to the daddy-in-law and see if you can win him over. I
Yeah.
don't know. But before we even get to that, he comes in with a bunch of his posse,
Yeah,
I
like
guess.
guards of the castle or whatever. He's like, oh, my son is not here. And they're like, Tilia's at the front going, yeah, no, I'm sorry, Xavier's not here at the moment, blah, blah,
So
blah.
he doesn't even know where Xavier is. So Xavier's not communicating with his father. So
Is he
that's
muting his
immediate.
dad?
So they must have some beef, right? Or they don't agree about something. So something's happening here.
Yeah, so
So,
she does actually say, like, I'm sick of this. I'm not doing that. Like, I'm gonna go talk to him. Isn't she? She's just
uh-huh.
like, yeah, and she's like about to go talk to him, and then Kathleen comes out, just shaking her head, and she just grabs
A
her and says, "Don't
librarian.
do it."
Yes. Yeah, she goes, don't, please don't. And she's like, okay, fine. I was about to reveal myself, but alas, I guess she's told me not to. So she
Well,
nods and she just watches from the tree post.
I would just be like, explain in 10 seconds right now before I go. Like, you've got to tell
Yeah,
me.
that's what I would say. I'd be like, why? And then if you don't give me a damn answer, I'm gonna like go.
Mhm.
Like, come on. Anyway, so the king just says a command. He says, go. And then all of his armored men start going into all of the buildings. They burn the library. They raid people's stuff. Like,
Bull.
yeah, they like burn the whole freaking library. But before she's like, yeah, they're going to burn it and they're going to destroy it. And I'm really sad about that, says Kathleen.
But
And
why are
she's
they
just
just
like,
burning all the
but
books? I'm like,
why? This is the response that pisses me off. She's like, because he's insane, he's out of his mind. That's not a good enough reason.
no, but why is he out of mind? What's going on? Like, why is he? Yeah, and she's just like, so
Why he local?
they leave, and so she comes back, and then she's like, "Oh, all that remained of Catelyn's library was a smoking pile of white ash." And she goes back to her treehouse, and all the crown that she'd left at the bedside table is gone, and the books she'd borrowed from the library have been taken and obviously handed into that pile of smoke. But she's hidden something, hasn't she?
But hold on, can we just say, as a little side point, because you know how she keeps dyeing her hair all the time, that the little dye thing that she had has smashed on the floor. So, bitch ain't got no more hair dye. She ain't
No.
gonna be a brunette anymore. But that's it. Back to your point.
Yeah. So she was hiding something. So she goes into is it the top bit of a roof? There's like a hole in the roof bit, and she's put in her journal. Remember, she was supposed to keep Tilia told her keep
It
that
was a
journal hidden.
satchel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like the journal and her
And it's her
necklace.
necklace. Do you remember that necklace that she's so fond of that is obviously important, but we don't know why.
Yeah. And then she's just like, looks in and she's like, oh, it's still here, phew. And then behind her is the Guardian. He's like, oh, clever, my queen. And she's like, oh, shit, now he knows my hiding spot too. That's not good.
He was always gonna know it. He probably already knew it. I don't know. But yeah, it's just but yeah, it didn't
Yeah.
make any sense. So it said so we're into chapter 23 and it
It's just
apparently
the
says
symbols
that
of time.
yeah, it's the same odd. They just say the week passes after King Ramses' visit. It's
Time after
uneventful.
time. Yeah, like she
Blah blah
trains.
blah.
She rides the paddock with the horse, and
She's
like
still
at
doing
every night
training.
she asks, but like, is when is Xavier coming back? He never comes back. Who knows
Mm,
where he is? And that's sort of it, like, isn't it
nope.
time? Anyway, she kind of goes out, like, out and about, and it gets to the point where was it they go to work and yeah, they're in training with Tilly, and she's like, "You're distracted today," and she's like, No, I'm not." So she really wants to know what the hell is going on, and she still gets her. Your stamina is shit.
But I love her response because this is how I feel. Because she's like, "Can you go run around the area or something, to help with your stamina?" And she went, "Running? Ew, why?"
Yeah,
She says the "ooh" bit in her head, but I did love the she wrote, "Ew, I don't want to
yeah.
run,"
So,
and I'm like,
so you're
"Preach, preach. I don't want to run."
no, she doesn't want to run, and she does ask her. She said, "Oh, how did you and Halston meet?" She's like, "I know you're stalling," and she's just like, "Oh yeah, we were like children, and we we grew up together, and that's how we got to know each other since we were young." And she said, "My mother called him my sentry, and she had a dog, and he died, and then when he died, her husband became her like," and she's like, "That's it." She's like, "Oh, that's so romantic, like so lovely." And then she's like, "No, you're just distracting now. Get on with it."
But I don't wanna. She's like, "Do it." So anyway, she does the bloody running and she's like, "My lungs are on fire." But yeah, she says, "You can start running today and after we've done a few more minutes of sparring." And she's like,
I know, but then she gets interrupted because he's like, "I'll take over," and the Guardian is back to take over her training, and she's like, it's like my heart left at the same time it sank. I'm just
"Oh."
like, oh my god, girl, like you are just like obsessed with this guy.
But I do love there's one moment where she's doing a punch to Tilia, like in training, and she's
Yeah,
like, "Try to hit me this time, stop pulling your punches." And she's like, "It's rude to hit friends." And she's like, "Are you shitting me right now? Like, do the training." And you're just
yeah, the training. Come on,
but anyway, yes, the Guardian has come and he's like, "Ugh,
I'll
great."
take over the training.
Then he said, "Oh, hell."
But she gets like, she's like says she can feel something like buzzing as well, like his powers. Like he must have used his power recently because she can feel like buzzing and raw energy on her skin. And she's like, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
putting me on edge." And she's like, "Right, okay." And then
Or
she's a
maybe
bit,
he was near the Voster or something, because we know that guy's
yeah.
lingering around somewhere.
So he says something that she goes, "So where were you?" And he's like, "Fear not. I'm still much very alive and back to being your keeper." And she's like, "My keeper is that why Xavier has left me in Trio." She doesn't like, yeah, she keeps trying to ask about why the hell she's here. And nobody
Absolutely,
ever
because,
like
I
gives her
mean,
an
like, if
answer.
they didn't want a wife, then don't bother marrying me, it's fine, like, I could have
Yeah.
been why am
Where
I
is
here?
he? Where is he? Nobody gives her an answer. Like,
I love that he's, the Guardian asks, like, "Oh, are you?" Because she asked, "Where did you go?" And he's just like, "Are you worried about me?" And then he's like, "Only that you die and I wouldn't get to spit on your grave." It's brilliant, the sass.
yeah. So he's just like, "Come on then, let's just do this training." And actually, he hits her.
Oh my god, he, like, proper smacks her,
Yeah.
and she's like, "What the oh."
Yeah, you hit me. And he was just like, he, it didn't hurt her, but like just to shock her, I think. And she was just like, and he's like, I'm just making sure you're awake. And she's like, he's a sadistic prick. I'm gonna kill him. Like, so yeah, he's trying to get her to train again and like pull the punches and stop being like thinking that she's like a princess. But yeah. But anyway, they're doing this, and then all of a sudden, someone's spying on them.
Yeah, was it Evangeline? So we find out
Evangeline.
who is Evangeline. Evangeline is a small child that's looking at them because the Guardians. She once again was like, "Who's he smiling at? Who's that smile for? What's that about?" And then suddenly she
What's he
turns. She
doing?
goes, "Oh,
I got his
it's a small child, but whose small child is it? Is that his
Yeah.
child?"
And he's like, the Guardian's just like, hey. And she's like, is that his? I don't know. Yeah. Like,
And
she's
so
just
we
trying to
find
stay in.
out Evangeline, aka Evie, for short. And so we find out that there is this young child with some
Yeah.
importance. They get looked after by Luella. We don't know who Luella is at this point. Anyway, so she's interesting, speculating. She's like, you should be with Luella doing your classes. Off you go now. And then a pony rider comes in, and she's like, ooh, pony rider.
Maybe I
should
can get
probably
information.
get information. But sorry, I'm gonna sneeze. I'm so
Bless you.
sorry.
But yeah, she's just like, oh, is that him? And she runs into the open square to get, and there's a whole load of riders. And one of the riders is Xavier.
And it's funny because Evangeline crashes into his chest and says,
And so you know,
Papa! And it's so funny because she's like, what?
you have a child?
What's happening? Like, I just love it because she's just going, okay, I've married this guy. Wait, who? What? Huh? Am I like being played here? Am I a second wife? What's happening?
Yeah, like what's going on? Like, do you have a
Does
child?
he have a
How many
second
children you got?
family? I
How many other children you got? Like, what's this going
Is
on?
that like a thing here? I don't know. So
Yeah.
we're into chapter 24, and everybody's like in the dining hall, like, ho, 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 you know, they're
Yay.
back. Cheers, yeah.
And her
And
head spinning. She's like, "What the friggin' head?" Like she's with
just
her
confused.
handmaidens having dinner, but she hasn't told them, and she's just like, "Oh, right, okay, what the hell is going on?" And it's he asks her if he wants to go for a walk because and she's like, "Oh yeah, I think you need to explain."
I think that you need a lot of shit to explain.
Yeah.
And it's funny, maybe we haven't spent much time together. Why is that, Xavier? Because you ain't been around.
No, you haven't been around. You made her like stay in this little treehouse place, be babysit by everybody, and now you're taking her for a walk because, yeah.
You know what's funny is there's a bit where he starts, so he's like, how are you, Odessa? And she goes, fine, you. And then when she goes, so you have a daughter? I expected him to be like, good night, Odessa, and then walk away. Like, that was my I was like, he's going to do it. He's going to totally
Oh
be
yeah,
like,
he won't say anything. Just go,
got a phone call. Sorry.
hi, hi. But he does. He says, she was like, that would have been good to know. And she said, it was something like she said, if I hadn't have found out, would you have ever told me? And he went, no.
Yeah, I was like, no. And you're like, great. That's so I'm a stepmother now.
Yeah. So very few people we find out know that she's his daughter. So he says, don't call me you have to call me Xavier and etc. Like, which is really sad.
So yeah, it's like the daughter, basically the reason for that is because he doesn't want Evie to be involved in court life. Now, I'm assuming with the small tiny reveal of King Ramsay and his insanity of raiding places and burning books, that he probably is like, I'm not having her involved in that crap and being utilized as a thing to make me do his bidding.
Well, she'd
So
be
I
a
think
Shield of Sparrow, maybe. She'd be a Shield of Sparrow, and she would have to be taken off by another thing as
maybe.
well. Like
Fair
poor
enough.
Odessa. And she's like, don't tell me about that. And so she asks, so where's her mother? And she died in childbirth. But we don't find
But
out if they were married. I don't know if they were
I don't
married
think
or,
so.
or
I
if she
think
was
he
another
fell in love
kingdom.
in secret. They banged. She died. That's it.
That's it.
I mean, not in the same cuts.
Yeah.
There was 9 months between.
Okay. So she said, so she goes, I won't betray your secret. I'll understand, but I'd like to get to know her. And he says, yes, you can get to know her. Like, that was nice of Xavier, because I didn't think he would even say yes. I thought he'd just go, hmm.
Yeah,
This is
so
the most we're
this is
getting
the
out of
bit,
Xavier for
this
a
is
long
the
while.
bit,
This is
this
the
is
most
the
we're getting
bit.
out of him.
This is, I know, and I feel like Odessa is starved, poor girl, for affection.
For
Starved that this she
conversation.
moves, she does this move, and she's just like, before, you know, he was like, how's your liking to Truva? Expected, thank you, blah blah blah. You're traveling. There's not much. It's just
Yeah, she
barely.
asked our handmaid's like feeling like homesick. Can she move her a bit closer? And he's like,
Yes.
yeah, just conversation. Yeah. And then she
So
says,
yeah.
are we going to, he's like, no, we're going to Elder. As much as I love Trio, there's no place to go be where the Crux migration is. So she's like, oh, are we going to Elder then? Like, we're not going to Alizaria? Like, that's what we find out.
Well, it's the first time we get onto the Crux migration. Like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
Is
let's
it
talk
happening?
about that. Because apparently that's like, people die, you know, bad. So you hear that anyway.
But
So
then,
I
yeah,
think,
the
yeah, sorry, go
closing
ahead.
thing. Yeah, so then, yeah, she gets to her tree house and he's like, oh, yeah, good night. Good night, Odessa. She's like, oh, yeah, good night, Xavier. And she doesn't know what to do. So she just goes on her tiptoes and gives him a kiss.
Well, on the cheek,
The cheek,
though.
on the
It's
cheek.
nothing, it's not on the lips or anything. She just a very innocent kiss on the cheek, and his jaw was smooth, and his skin smelled like cedar and soap. So he's a clean guy, which is good.
Well,
He
like,
didn't jerk away, his body just stiffened like this. And when I dropped to my heels, there was something like pity in his gaze, and you're like,
he in his
oh, that's the
brain.
last thing you want. That makes
Yeah.
it worse. When someone gives you pity, that's awful. It really hits you hard. Anyway, she's like, you know, I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. And
Bye.
he's like, no, don't be. His like hand comes up to her cheek and her palm, puts, you know, and then he's like, good night. But they leave, like, calmly, doesn't make it weird. He's just like, off he goes, bye. And she's like, God
Yeah.
damn it. And then the Guardian is in her room, as he always is. And he's
Why?
like,
Why is he in there? Like, I think he's pissed. Some part of me is
they
just like, the
lounge
Guardians witnessed
for
this.
bed.
Guardians witnessed this, and he's like, I'm jealous. Why is she all with the Xavier and all this kind of stuff? You're like, dude, he's not. They're married. Like, and he's just like, hey, talk to me. Where's your home?
I know, it's like late night. She's like, get your ass off my bed. I mean, I would be fuming. His like feet are on the bed, for
Yeah.
God's sake. Anyway, so she's like, go away, go away. And he's like, do you have any respect for people's private space? Blah 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 blah. Anyway, so he's now going, can I ask you questions? Whatever.
Yeah.
Just and he says, Roslo, though at the moment this charming treehouse is my home. Next question. He's like, careful.
Oh, I know, but she does the other one. He goes, how many men have you bedded? I know you're anxious, but a word of caution. Xavier's not fond of women who reek of desperation. That is awful. That is so awful. And also someone coming through from someone who's really jealous. That's like jealousy and like being awful and cruel. Like, so
That,
she actually tells her to get out.
yeah, yeah. And what a dick. What a dick. But then he goes back and says, did your father bring you here to spy? And she's like, no. He's like, did I pass the test? And he's like, bang, leaves the door. I guess not.
For God's
These
sake.
two, you could cut the sexual tension with a knife right now. Like,
Yeah,
there's no
there are,
romantic stuff with Xavier. It's all with the Guardian. And clearly Xavier was in love with somebody. They had a child. He's lost that person. Or has he? Is he just lying? I don't know.
nobody knows about this
I mean,
child.
let's be honest, you know, I don't trust anything that Xavier really says anyway. So, Evangeline, we meet her in chapter 25. She's
Yeah,
supposed to
she
be doing.
comes, they're
It's
going
a
for a walk.
very. It's just
Yeah.
again, it's a lot of blah blah blah. She's doing her lessons.
She's
She's
talking to Xavier. She's meeting this little
yeah.
girl. They do the lesson. And then, yeah, it's just like time is going by so much. And
They're
then,
kind of playing like a mommy and daddy. Let's go for a walk with Evangeline, and she's like, "Hi, my name's Odessa," and she's like,
Mhm.
maybe this marriage wasn't entirely hopeless.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah,
they go on this
and
nice little
it's
walk
nice.
until they get interrupted by the Guardian, and Xavier kind of goes off towards him and says, "Oh, excuse me," and then he goes, "How did it go?" And she's like talking to Evangeline, but she can sort of hear their conversation,
Also,
and
Evangeline seems to be a good person to get intel from.
yeah, because she's like, "Oh, what's going on?" And he's like, "Oh, he goes to fight the monsters, the bad ones, the sick ones." And she's like, "Sick? What does that mean?" And then it get cut off because like
This is the
Evangeline's
problem. It's
mind.
like if that's not a cut off for Xavier, it's like, oh, then the lady that's supposed to teach Evangeline is like cuts her off before she can explain who the sick ones are.
Yeah. And she's
Mm.
yes, she doesn't get like very much like out of Evangeline, but yeah. So, but she's kind of like sick monsters. What does that mean? What makes a sick like monster sick? And I'm wondering if it's something to do with the blood. Remember, like some of the monsters' blood was green.
It's
Does that
green,
mean like
yeah.
I thought that was because it was a male, and like the red blood is for females and the green blood is for males, but maybe the green blood is like they're sick and like mental in
But
the head.
do you think that the king's mad by the same illness? Because when they said
He's insane.
he's completely lost his mind or something like that, is that in reference to he probably has because of this sickness? Or some of the soldiers with him have the same sickness, but it's just
I
different
don't
with
know.
humans? Or makes them kind of a bit cuckoo or some I'm just speculating here, I don't know, but
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but yeah, we don't really find out what exactly the sickness is. But
we're going down with the sickness. Sorry, I had to do it. I couldn't help it. Anyway,
so she goes and finds like Briellen, and she's like, "Oh, right, okay, I'll just distract myself." And Briellen has some intel as well. She said she was like at the bonfire. They have normally have a bonfire in the evenings.
wow, they're useful for something.
Yeah, Odessa doesn't go to the bonfires, but her handmaids that go. And she said, "Oh, a few men have gone missing from Trio." I mean, that should be a big thing. Like missing, like they left, and she goes, "I don't know. One of them saw me listening, and they stopped." And they said they saw something about the king's military, that they're recruiting more men. Why? We don't know. What's going on?
Hmm.
So people are going missing, and they're recruiting more people for the military. That's all we got. Thanks, guys.
Basically, we have no idea, and her speculation is like, is it the Cruxmigration?
Like
Is
all
it war?
questions.
Is it Elisaria something? It's like we don't know anything. Zero intel on that.
Yeah,
I think
but
her handmaids should be the spies for her then.
yeah,
Like,
they
get
should
in
be the
there.
spies. Get in the spies.
Use them to do something.
But
Honestly.
she said, "Has anybody spoke about Alexandria?" And they're like, "No, no one's talked to us about Alexandria or spoken about it." So like, maybe it doesn't even exist. I'm guessing, they're just making it up. But
Mm.
she's
Or
just
maybe
like, "Look,
they've
we're never going
renamed
to
it.
learn anything if we stay here." So I had to change. So that was it. She's like, "This is it. I can't take this anymore." And I'm like, "Thank God! Like, come on."
Yeah, it took you
Yeah,
to till us at the big end of chapter 25 to go, no shit, girl. So I got to the end of chapter 25 and just starting into 26 to be like, thank you. Let's, come on, you got to try something. If it works, it doesn't work, you've tried. Come on, let's move this along now because it is getting a little bit like,
time
la,
is
la, la, la,
passing.
la, 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 la.
She's
Let's
getting
go.
used to living there. She's getting used to living in Endor. She's like, "No, I'm getting
Yeah.
too like comfortable. I've got to keep push this, right? Come on."
Yeah, I honestly think she could do more anyway, but here we are. So, chapter 26, Brielle, her handmaid, sat on the edge of the bed, frowning while she was trying to comb out her wet hair. And they're saying, this is the worst idea. So, there's clearly a plan in motion here.
Yeah, and she's saying like, "I have to try." So that she said she's going to find a way to break the shield of sparrows as well. Like that was what her dad was saying. So I don't
Mm.
think he can. I don't know. That's another part. I feel like that's another
But I
part.
don't understand what the Shields of Sparrow is
Is it a treaty to
like.
keep them all together or something? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I'm assuming so, but then there's like the chain of sevens. There's like a thing, there's like Shields of Sparrow, chains of seven, the bride
All these things
prize.
really.
It's I don't know.
I
So
think it's almost the
anyway,
Vostra thing as well. They keep it all. So like we haven't even
right.
we haven't even heard anything more about the Vostra, like in this, apart from
No.
when they came for the wedding and that was it. So anyway, she
Yeah.
finds out she's going to like she goes, "I'm going to leave Trio today. I'll find the road to Alizaria, and I find out what was happening in Shura with these sick monsters and burning books. And you're like, yeah, exactly. Find out that first. What the hell is going on?
What's
So
going on? What's going on in Shura as well? Because there seems to be a division here between King Ramsay and Xavier. So
so
what's
all
happening?
yeah, also we find out that Xavier, Evangeline, and Luella have all gone 4 days ago to Elder, so she's all by herself there. And the Guardian has disappeared as well. So
Yeah,
she's
but
come up with
nobody's communicated that because she said to Xavier in just the previous chapter, she said, "Are you leaving?" And he said, "No, not yet." And so he's gone. There's
yeah,
no
he's
what?
gone 4
Eh?
days now. We went 4 days ago. So she's kind of basically this is the best time because they're gone, the Guardian's gone for a bit. And she's like, right, that's it. So her plan is to like there's a kind of person like a shopkeeper or some kind of
Goes
supplier
in and
like
out,
fella.
yeah, of the
Yeah.
town.
And she's gonna go and try and get him to take her to the next town, which is Ashmore or something. And she's gonna
Mm-hmm.
wrap her up and she's gonna pretend so Brielle's gonna pretend to be Odessa.
Well, she has her red hair now because it's gone, but she has it
Mhm.
kind of covered or something with
The
like her
scar.
scarf.
Yeah.
And so she gives Brielle her clothes and she wears what her handmaids would normally wear.
Yeah.
So, and it's quite cool. I mean, like for something, we actually see Brielle do something of worthy because she
Yes.
acts exactly like her. She's like, oh my God, she's like mimicking me. It's crazy. She's exactly like me.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so they wait for this like supplier guy, trader to come out, and
Mm.
then Brielle like sticks out, and she goes out and says, "My lady's maid is in need of a ride to Ashmore. There are items that I require within the week." And he's just like, "Is there like what you need? Like, can't you just go to the shop?" And she's like, "That's my private business." And she like throws a whole load of money at him, and he looks at it, and he's like, "Oh, all right, get in." And she's like, "Okay."
I know she's like, holy shit, that worked. And she's like, great. And then she goes and she's like, oh, I'm probably going to get stopped in a minute, aren't I? But she clears the whole
Goes
way.
to the
He's a
next
bit of
car.
a
Yeah.
shut up, get out the car, whatever.
It
But
was a
she
bit
makes
like,
it,
I know. I was kind of like reading that going, oh my God, please, please let her go through. Please let her go through. And I was like, yay. Because I actually did think the Guardian was going to come in and go stop and go, no, like I can
yeah,
smell you over there or something.
yeah, which is good. So I am glad that she got out of that indoor trio place and she's successfully made it to the next town over. So it's good.
Ashmore. Yeah. So she says like it takes her a while to get there, but there's a whole load of like so Ashmore has like a whole load of wooden houses and it resembles a countryside town where it's dotted with fields.
Mhm.
So and she goes to the driver, how do you keep the monsters out of town? And he just goes, we don't, not anymore. And she doesn't really understand.
Yeah, she's just like, why? Why don't you do
Oh.
that? Okay. So anyway, she goes through the town and she's going, okay, just keep my head down. Let's see where I can go. Got to get to the inn. Got to
Where could
check
I
it.
find the library? Stuff like that. Yeah. She needs to go to the inn and she wants to go to the library. This is her main thing of finding out this information. And then she's
Spoiler
going to
alert,
the inn first. Yeah. She
there's no
goes
library.
yeah. She goes to the inn and she hears a laugh and she knows who it is. It's the Guardian. And she's like, oh shit, he's found me. Like
And I
and she
thought,
goes
oh
to like
shit, really? She's just got there. Mm.
yeah, she just got there. But I don't think he did, like just yet. It's like
I don't
so
think he followed her, knew that she was there. I don't think he knew anything. He was just hanging at the tavern and she's going, holy shit, he's not spotted me. He's hanging out with some girl with like straw colored hair
yeah.
and he's not here for me. Okay, so I'm gonna beeline it into the inn
Hmm.
and just do it. So let's do it. So she's like, okay, yeah, I need a room. Here's the money. Great. But she's again doing that thing of, who was that woman he was talking to? Oh no, I'm not jealous.
Yeah. Who is it? I'm not jealous. And I was like, not jealousy, not for him. I'm just annoyed. But just like, yeah, you're jealous of the
But it is
landlady.
quite funny that he's like, okay, it's the second room on the whatever. So she goes, okay, thank you, thank you. She grabs the key, goes up the stairs, goes into, she manages to unlock her key. She's like, calm down, calm down, calm down. It's fine. And she goes in and she shuts the door and she's like, okay, this was a horrible idea. And he's like, agreed. And then she's like, ah!
Yeah, and he's just there going, and he was livid, and he's like, "Hello, my queen."
And she's like, it ends,
I did
the
feel a bit
episode's
bad
such a
for her. I
brilliant
thought,
ending. Well, fuck.
yeah, I did feel a bit bad. I thought, oh, he could have just given her like 24 hours, like of
Yeah,
freedom,
he
and
could
then,
have just, yeah, anyway, he's pissed, royally, of course. And she says his gaze turned molten silver and white. So I guess that's activate, as we talked about the last one.
yeah, attack.
Rage mode activated, silver molten eyes. So he's like, "What the fuck were you thinking?"
Yeah,
And she's like, well, you know."
but
And he's
she's
like,
supposed
"Don't
to.
even."
Yeah, but he's just like, "Don't think. What were you thinking?" And she's like, she says sorry, and I'm like, "No, Odessa, don't say sorry." And he's just like, "You sorry? Damn it, cross. People die in Shura every day." And then he's just like, explain what you were doing, spying, and she just says she doesn't answer. Like, does she?
But
And
like
he's just like,
not in a good way.
he's not.
He
He's
is
not nice.
not. He's not having it. He's like running his hands through his hair. He's just like, my
Yeah.
God. It's like, just this is so reckless. And she's like, okay.
Yeah, he says we'll leave tomorrow, and you will never do anything like this again. You've been granted sorry, or the freedom that you've been granted in Trio will vanish. Is that understood? And she goes, actually, no,
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 no.
no. And she did stand up for herself. Thank God. Like
It's
she
like
says,
she
no,
just needs a minute. She needs a minute to just stop and go,
yeah,
no, no,
I'm
no,
refusing
I'm
to
not
bend to
okay
his
with that.
will.
And
Yeah, and she
again,
does stand up.
as soon as she says that though, he's like, "What? Did you just say to me?"
Yeah, and she's like, no, I didn't ask to be married to a stranger. I didn't ask to come to Chura. They were decided decisions made for me by the whims of men, and I will not go
And I was
quietly in
like,
my cage.
Slay, queen, slay. I was like, that's right.
Yeah, and he's just like, but he did. She says like, and then he said, but then he goes like, why didn't you ask? And she's like, what? And he says like, haven't you been granted every request? If you wanted to explore Ashmore, why didn't you just ask? Did you ever stop to
Yeah,
think that maybe the door to your cage has always been unlocked?
bullshit.
And I'm like, yeah,
Bullshit. Bullshit.
you took the ladder away. You took the ladder away. It's
Yeah.
never been
I'm
unlocked.
sorry. This is gaslighting 101. It's like, no, I don't believe that.
After
I'm
that,
sorry.
okay, okay, I'd love to explore Algeria. Could you take me there?
Yeah. You said I'm a spy. So what do you want me to do? Like, you're not going to trust. You said I will never trust you. You took the ladders, as you quite rightly said.
Mhm.
So no, 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 absolutely not. Anyway, so she's like, was it true? Could I have simply asked? And anyway,
No,
so she
don't
gets a
trust him.
knock on the door because her meal's ready. She ordered a meal. And then the lady's like, oh my God, it's a guardian in your room. She's like, okay, bye. Got it.
Yeah. So he goes away for a bit and then comes back and says like he's staying there for the night, but like they're leaving in the morning.
He
But
takes
when
her
she wakes up,
pillow. He takes.
yeah.
How dare
But when
he?
she wakes up in the morning, he's not there, and she thinks, "Oh, I've got a couple of hours to spare before we have to get on the road, so
Mm,
I'm going to seek out the library." And she does find the library, and it's burnt to a crisp.
yeah. So it looks like her father-in-law has been at it. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's all that's all there is, and she's like, oh, great. So she kind of goes back, and then she bumps into Caitlin.
Well, yeah, so that's right. She bought into, no, it's Kathleen. Kathleen, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Kathleen. I forgetting. Like,
But
but
the other thing
yeah.
he mentions as well when he bumps into her is he does the Guardian when she's out
Oh
and
yeah,
about. She says, that dye you wear is as pungent as dead fish. Do you really think I wouldn't notice? And she's like, yes, in her head, no.
oh yeah, because she was
But
going
she's
to
like, are
die.
you going to tell me why you came to Ashmore? And she's like, I'll tell you that when you tell me your real name. And I'm like, good on you, girl.
Yeah, good. Yeah. But yeah, she said like, how did you find me? She's like, there's only one in Ashmore, and your hair isn't exactly subtle. So he does know she's got bright red hair. So
Yeah, and anyway, at the very beginning of the book, before she even got on the boat, he like twirled her hair a little bit and looked at it and was like, hmm. So yeah.
yeah. Anyway, we go back to the library she's going off to find, and yeah, she bumps into Kathleen. And she's like, "Hey, Odessa." And she's like, "Oh, what are you doing here? Oh my God!" Like, yeah, the
Hmm.
library's like burned to shit, but hey. And she's like, "Oh yeah, I kind of came here on my own." And she's like, "Did you now?" And she said, "As it, but the Guardian found me. As irksome as he is, it's wise to listen. He has sworn to protect you." And she's like, just like, "What?
Right.
He's
So
sworn to
their
protect you?"
information. So that's why he's around her all the time. So he's sworn to protect her, which must be something in the treaty that when Xavier got married.
Yeah,
So I'm not really sure. There's more intel that we need to understand
yeah.
why.
The folk
But
fair or whatever they're doing.
I wonder if his life is somehow connected to what happens to her.
Yeah, I think there's something ongoing there. Like, why does she need to be protected? I'm kind of a bit like, there's something
Uh-huh.
happening or something.
Or
But anyway,
is it like Xavier? No, because that's right. No, because Xavier. Remember the treaty was if Xavier was to kill her, he would die, and if she was to kill
yeah,
Xavier, he would die. But
yeah.
if they die themselves by some situation, that shouldn't affect them, as far as I'm aware.
No, maybe like if something happens to Xavier, he has to protect her or something.
Yeah, but then why is he doing it now? I don't know. It's a weird one. But anyway, so we've learned that she's like, oh, he's sworn to protect me. Interesting.
Yeah, and they're walking around the town. Like Caitlin's like, "Oh, come on, I'll like show you around a bit." And there's all these like
Thank
things like
God
this.
for Catelyn. Like, honestly,
Yeah,
she's going, here, look at this. Here's this shit. This is what this is. This is what happened.
yeah.
Thank you
She's showing her like the tunnels. Like there's like little things inside the tunnels to go in, and
for
she
the
says these
Crux
are migration.
migration. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the migration tunnels. The Crux were able to send those hiding even the tunnels, so they're making them even deeper now, so that they can go and hide in it. And I'm just like, oh my God,
Because apparently,
jeez.
like, a bunch of people, like, died. It wasn't deep enough or something. They kind of got hacked into it.
After that, she's like, let me find out about this library. Why is King Ramsay destroying books and libraries? And Catelyn says, because Ramsay has lost his goddamn mind. Just like,
And then she's
okay,
like, I wish I had a better explanation. And I'm like, is this the sickness?
is this a
I don't
sickness? Yeah.
know. Is it maybe, or is he just a dumbass king again? And we're just meant to go with that. I have no idea.
Yeah. And anyway, like Catelyn's like, oh God, yeah, like, well, like, she says, why are you here? And she's like, oh, I also
We
came to
find out
the
about why
library.
Catelyn's here. She
Yeah,
got a
yeah.
hookup.
She came to see for a hookup that didn't go so well. So she's like, yeah, nah. But she says to Odessa, like, why are you here? And she's like, I came to the library because I don't know much about Chura. And she's like, but you're the Sparrow. Like, weren't you like trained and all this kind of stuff? And she doesn't, like, she was going to explain to her, but she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, does she? She doesn't explain because I guess
No.
everybody in Shura thinks, oh, Odessa has been learning about everything about Shura. She's known this for her whole life. And yeah, why does she acting so weird that she's not, like, nobody knows that she's not the
No.
Sparrow.
Yeah, or
So,
she was given the Sparrow or like lastminute.com.
yeah.
So it
And
makes
then,
no
yeah,
sense.
but she kind of changes the subjects and says, oh, like, oh, I asked the, like, trader guy when I came in, like, about the monsters. How do you keep that monsters out of Ashmore?
No one
And
knows.
she's like, we don't. Like, most towns and cities are built against natural barriers, but Elder is tucked against the mountains. Paris has the oceans at its back, but nothing in Ashmore is just forgotten about. So, like, towns like Ashmore give travelers respite, but the people who can find work here, they might not elsewhere. But living in the wilds is not without its risks. So, yeah, they're like defenseless there in Ashmore.
But then there's a
So,
very interesting point that she does make, Catelyn, because as Odessa is asking Catelyn these questions about why would the king withdraw protection? I don't know. And she's like, you'd have to ask him. And she's like, does he want them to move to the cities to be
yeah,
safe or watched? And she went, smart girl. And I'm like, So he wants people to be he's
He
trying to
wants to
deter
control them.
people from living in these wild sort of areas that are subjected to monster invasions to be closer
Mhm.
to him so he can keep an eye on them, which means that he wants to control what knowledge they possess, hence burning the libraries and all this
Yeah,
stuff.
but also the whole like recruiting the military. You come to his city, more people for the military as well. So
Yeah,
yeah, he's
yeah.
building his army, and then all of a
That's
sudden, the kind of
bells.
conversation is cut short, isn't it? Because all the bells at the front of the shop start
Cling,
like
cling.
singing, and she realizes they're not shop bells; they're warning bells because a monster is coming. And she's like, "Yep, hurry! There's Barry wolves in Ashmore." Da 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 da.
Ding, 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 ding. Here, go, go, go. So she's like, run, 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 get to the inn. Let's go. The barrier wolves are
Yeah,
coming. And then we're into chapter 29 and shit goes down. So they're
yeah.
running. Catherine's like, get inside the inn. It's the safest building, apparently, in Ashmore. But, scream tore through the air, a woman. And she's like,
Oh
my
yeah, a woman
God.
falls. She's like, no, no, like, I go, this is where I got a bit like Kathleen was a bit like, just leave her. We gotta go. And she's but this is like, no, like, we've got to
I know
help her.
you like help her, but then she's like, every man for themselves.
Yeah,
But
it
I
is a bit
wonder
like,
if
she's just
she's
like, Kathleen's
thinking
asleep.
who she's with. And she's gone, no, Odessa's the Sparrow. I'm going to make sure that she gets into the inn right now
Yeah,
because I don't know where the hell the Guardian's gone. So
yeah,
let's
we have to
go.
protect the sparrow at all costs because something that we are not privy to.
Yes, that is exactly right. So anyway, so they're running and Kathleen's running faster, harder, and she's like, "Oh my God." Again, her stamina is shit. We established this.
Yeah.
So
So the
she's
beasts are there
she's
eating and chewing everybody.
yeah, it's not a pretty sight. And she's like, I nearly crashed into Kathleen's body as we both came skidding to a stop. And
Then the beast, it swung its attention to the woman still hobbling towards the inn. Oh, and the growl that vibrated from its maw was so loud I whimpered. But yeah, and
ugh,
then there's another. Oh, sorry.
no, that's it. It's just ugh, yeah, it's pretty gross at this point. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
So
not a
she's
pretty
like,
sight.
all this is kind of going. They're all trying still to get to the inn, and she's just like, so there's one there, and then she's frozen, and then like there's another one. Another barrier was inching its way with perfect stealth, and it only
Mm.
had one eye, and she's just like, oh crap! There's one in front of me. There's one behind me. It's kind of roared and lunged, and then all of a sudden, the guardian appears,
Of
leaping.
course, of
She's like, it
course.
all happened so quickly. I saw a blur, and it was like the thing was leaping for the guardian, and I opened my mouth to scream to warn him, but then there was a glint of sword, and it shot through the air, cutting the barrier mouse snout off.
Do you know what I imagined this to look like? So you know, like the Barry wolves when they come in. I know they don't look like this, but in my head, do you remember Hunger Games, the movie? I don't know if it's the first one or the second one, but no, I think it's the second one because it's one of the District 1 or 2 guys, and they kick him, and there's a bunch of like big dogs, like just start eating him at the end,
Oh
and then she like shoots
yeah,
the arrow and kills him, so he
feels
doesn't feel getting ripped apart. And I'm like thinking, that's what in my head I was envisioning these like Hunger Game, like big dogs, like just like, even though they're technically Barry wolves, which are probably very different.
yeah,
But anyway, so the Guardian is in, he's come to save the day, and he's like, run, cross. And Odessa, Kathleen's like, come on, get in here.
yeah. Get
But she
in.
goes
Get,
into the tavern, right?
yeah, she gets snatched, and literally the owner kind of sees them, grabs them, throws them in to the tavern, and she's like, he's safe, and everybody's like shivering, and they're going, oh my god, it's like, and they're all whimpering, and she can see outside like the blades that the guardian's fighting, and he's just like, there's more, there's loads of them, there's loads of Barry wolves
Yeah,
going
more
round.
than they said
Yeah,
normally happens. Like they normally come and like I can't remember
there's
exactly,
like
but
4 or something like that, and there's like more than 7
yeah.
or something here.
And they said that's insane. Why would that happen? So again,
Yeah.
something to do with you're going down with the sickness. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep you doing that.
Yeah,
You're
the
just gonna have to
7
deal with it.
Barry wolves prowled in the street. And so like that's more than normal. And anyway, she goes to the window, and it was like she sees a Barry wolf emerge from the corner, and it's pressed against the locked door 5 feet away. And she's just like, oh shit. Like crap. Like it's right outside. It can tear down the door and everything. Um, yeah, so she's just like, right, that's
Shit.
happening. He's fighting like three of them. What the hell's going to happen? And
So I
she's
feel
got
really bad for
crossbows.
the tavern lady who owns it, who
Yeah,
took it over from her parents, because one of those wolves comes in from behind, smashes and crashes like a window or something, and just
yeah.
rips at her neck or something. So she dead.
Oh, yeah. But before that happens, she does
Mm,
get a crossbow from behind the bar.
she does, which is interesting because you're like, how would you know? Do you?
Do you know how to get a crossbow? She's like, I'm good at this, but this one's pretty like big, so it's quite a lot. But yeah, so the barrier wolf flew inside and like, yeah, like you said, like grabs her, flings her body across the room, and she just like hits a, oh, what is it? Like a crossbow thing at it, and then just runs, and Caitlin's just like upstairs. No.
Yeah, she doesn't quite get it. It's like it hits, but it doesn't kill it. It's just like kind of stuck slightly or something.
Yeah, it's still alive. And the woman downstairs is probably dead. So
I love that she's like, "Is she dead?" And Catherine's like, "I don't know." Like, Jesus,
probably.
like, probably, yeah, I don't know.
And she, yeah,
Anyway,
it just is kind of a bit like, oh my God, we left her. We always like protect people. And like, I was like, no, like we'd all die. We just got to go. And yeah, so they go there and they see like, aren't they like, they go outside and they see the guardian battling with three and there's blood on his face and he's got a wound from his gushing around his fingers and he's still fighting. And she's just like, right, okay, I'm going to go and help him. Like there's a bit like, isn't there a bit like a narrow balcony that she kind of
there's like
comes
a
out?
little balcony bit on the tavern bit, and so she like positions herself, and then she's like praying to the gods, like make sure it hits, and she does actually hit it in its leg, I
One of
think, or
them,
something, which gives the
the
guardian a
guardian,
chance to just go psh, like that and knock it out. So she's like, fantastic. I didn't technically miss. And she's
yeah,
like, blood is pouring from its size, but it's he's still having to fight them. So she's
she
like,
gets,
"Ah, shoot, and I haven't quite
yeah.
got it yet." But at the same time, it's not the safest balcony to be standing on.
No, it's a terrible balcony. But she gets another thing, loads it, and she's got about to kill another one, the one-eyed one, and it runs away. But while she runs away, she's like, "Oh God!" And then the whole thing collapses, doesn't it? The whole balcony collapses, and
Because
she's
they
like,
were like,
"Shit."
it's gonna collapse. It's gonna collapse. She's like, I just have to stay still. And it collapsed. And she's like,
Yeah,
ow.
yeah. She can't hold on, so she ends up like dropping. I don't know how far it is actually,
I
like pretty
don't think
high
it's
up.
massively tall. Like it's
Not enough to break bones,
no,
but
but
like
enough to
still
feel
like
painful.
to wind you. Anyway, she's like the guardian just looks really panicked and he's running up to hers and it turns out like as she was getting off of the porch, the barrier wolf that had hunted us inside that had killed that beautiful blonde woman was barreling towards me.
Eesh. So she
Yeah,
lifts her
she's a bit of a
crossbow
damsel in
thinking,
distress.
yeah, she's very much a damsel in distress. So she lifts her crossbow to be like, okay, hopefully I can, you know,
Kill
put
it.
this in its face. But then the guardian swords lodge itself into its skull. So she's like, ah, okay, you
And she
got it.
gets soaked with green blood. She goes, she goes, "Uh," and
She's
she's
like,
like,
yes,
that's the same green blood.
that's right. And she's like, he saved my life again. And then she remembers what Kathleen had said. He's sworn to protect you. Slayer of legends. And his hand clamped around her arm, hauling her to her feet. And yeah, this
Yeah.
it's still a gory scene. It's not great.
Well, yeah, but then like she's like, oh my God, like all this has happened, the Barrow's are dead, and she's still holding the crossbow. And it's like he hugs her, holds her, and she's got the crossbow at his like, is it his neck or is his chest or
I
something?
I can't
And
remember, but she's like he's pulled by pulling her up. She's still holding the crossbow and she's leaning in closer, and the tip of the bolt is dug into his vest, and he's just like,
yeah,
"Do it." Like he's like,
do it, yeah,
I like
pull the
do it.
trigger and kill me.
Like go
And
for it."
she's, yeah, but he says this wasn't the man I'd been verbally sparring with. This man was a monster, and that's where like, what? He's a monster then? And then he
Yeah,
and then comes to find her, and then he's disappeared. Like, what color is his eyes? Oh, their eyes are silvered.
yeah. So
So yeah,
silver is when he's like
maybe
rage mode.
maybe like that's it. Like he's a monster when he's got silver eyes, and then he's okay the other times.
Yeah, but she looks at him, she's like, "I close my eyes, I block out the silver eyes, and my finger won't move." And he's like, "Look at me." And then she just yeah. And then that's it. She doesn't do anything. And then she's like, Kathleen interrupts and goes, "Oh my God, Odessa, like, are you
And
okay?"
he just disappears.
And that's it. So she can't kill him. I think there must be some sort of prophecy, right?
Maybe it's something like she can't kill him and he can't kill her.
I
Like the
think
prophet.
it's gonna be like, okay, here's a theory. So you know how like in Beauty and the Beast, he's like horrible because he's just a dick. And then at the end of it, she grows to like love him because although he's a beast, he actually grew like a heart. So I think with his like created being a monster, obviously his eyes change silver when he's like, I'm a big monster, scary guy.
Yeah.
That there's an element of him that's not like that when he has his hazel eyes and he's not that person and he's chill. So part of me thinks that there's a prophecy that says either the sparrow will kill you because you're a monster and you deserve to die, or they'll see past it and love both you, the monster and
Mhm.
you. I don't know. I'm just speculating. Just saying.
It is a bit weird. Yeah, there's something going on. But yeah, anyway, the aftermath is that like 17 people died in Ashmore. There was no protection. And so if they hadn't had the Guardian, I think a lot more people would have died. And yeah, it's including the tavern owner. And she goes, every time I close my eyes, I see a monster's face. But I think she's talking about the Guardian because she's just like, oh my God, that face. Like he was like turned into like a right monster at the end.
Mhm.
So I'm not
But
sure what is going on
it's
there.
also interesting the way he eggs her on to be like, yeah, do it. Because she could have pulled it and then that would have been it.
Yeah.
But he knows, I don't know, like, does he know? I don't know. Or is he wanting to, I don't, it's, there's a lot of unanswered questions here anyway.
Yeah, you're like,
But she's still feeling bad. She's imagining that the tavern lady, who she's learned the name of, Saria, is her fault. But it's
yeah.
not her fault. She knows
She's
that.
really like living with the guilt, isn't she? Like she's like, that's it. Oh my God, I feel responsible for it. But
Mhm.
she would have lived if I hadn't gone back to her. And
Mm.
and then the Guardian comes up and he's just like, oh, you're talking to the dead. Like
He's
this,
like,
like he's,
you talking to the dead? And he's like,
and
are you
she's just
drunk?
like, yeah, and he is drunk. He's absolutely drunk out of his head, like not being able to deal with it properly. And obviously all the cuts and he had like some like kind of like big massive thing and like pouring with blood out the side and that's gone. The cuts and scratches are gone out of his face.
Yeah, he's super healed. But I did like,
Yeah.
there's a sentence here. She's like, I didn't think I'd find you here. And she's like, where else am I gonna go? Like, yeah. And he's like, on your way to Quintess. And you're like,
Yeah, being back to the kingdom. She's like, oh my God, you're so drunk.
she's like,
Like,
here's a
and
pillow. And he's like, so generous, my queen. Good.
yeah,
She's like,
and
right.
yeah, and she's just like, look, I'm sorry about Saria. It's my fault. And he said, did you shred her spine like with your
Yeah, with
teeth?
your teeth.
Like,
She's like,
and yeah,
no.
yeah, and she's just like, it's your choice. It was Saria's. Don't play the martyr cross. She would have hated that. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. Still, yeah. And then she goes, why do you call me Sparrow? And he says, because you're a bird.
Which is
She gets
hilarious. Like, are you saying because 'cause I'm a
so
woman?
drunk.
Like, or what? Are you saying it just because 'cause you're like a bird?
Yeah,
What?
it's just
Meaning
like
I was
maybe I'll
trying to
get some.
fly away? I don't know.
Yeah, she's like, he's drunk, so maybe he'll give me some more intel about what the hell's going
Correct.
on. She's like, yeah, and he's just like, I mean, like, I don't think he's gonna give you great intel, but she's like, will we go to Alizaria before the migration? No. Is there something wrong? It's their green blood, like, and he's like, yeah. So she's getting like one-word answers, but at least she knows that, like, oh yeah,
But
she says, what's
he
wrong
does
with
say
them?
something. He does say something. She says, "What's wrong with them?"
What them?
And he says, Lysa or Lisa?
Lysa.
I'm not sure. It's spelled Lyssa. And she says,
Yeah.
"What is that? I've never heard it before." And then he's like conked out. He's gonna sleep
And
now because
you're like,
he's
oh
out.
great. What
And
is
you're like,
Lysa?
Damn it! Well, it's not a life-term Isa, that's for sure, so
Is this a solstice that lives on top of a hill or something like this? Like, and she,
person, a disease, a type of animal, we don't know. But we know that
yeah,
Lysa or Lisa, I'm gonna say Lysa,
Liza.
is the thing that is potentially connected to the sickness of these animals are experiencing with the green blood. So we're on to our
Yeah,
final chapter, 31.
yeah, and this is just they wake up the next day, like
Yeah.
they're all going to leave, and they're just yeah, they're just a bit sad. They see all the dead graves getting bit like
It's not a
bit
happy
dull.
day in Ashmore. It's a
No,
pretty sad day in Ashmore. Yeah.
everybody has to recover and everything like that. And then she says to Kathleen, she's just like, yeah, we're gonna go. And she's just like, will you come back to Trio soon? She's like, yeah, I will. You'll see me soon. And she hands over a book. And she says, you wanted to know about the culture and like the
Mhm.
ways of Tura. So I've got this for you to read. Just hide it away, please. And she's
Yes,
like,
with her journal.
thank you.
But now you
Yeah.
understand why Tilia was telling her, hide that journal and don't let anyone see it.
Mhm.
Because obviously, now that the King Ramsay is going around burning everything, that's the
Yeah.
first thing he would do. So it's actually, now we understand more about, well, we don't understand why, but we understand why she was telling her to
Yeah.
hide
Time
it.
to go. Uh-huh. So yeah, she says goodbye and she teach her like something about like their ways where to say goodbye. You like hold your heart and then you bow or something. But then the guardian comes to say goodbye to Kathleen and he just gives her a hug and she's like, well, what the hell? Like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, like you're not sure. She's not sure what the correct response is because, again, it's like Chura, no Chura, loyalty runs deep, but she's not Chura, so
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, they say their goodbyes, and then the Guardian
Puts her on a
and
horse, his own horse. So
oh,
they're
she
right
has to ride on the same horse,
very
romanticy.
close, very close. And he's like, relax.
I'm sorry, but I can feel your ding dong on my butt. No, I
Sure,
don't think so.
I'm relaxed. Like, yeah. And she says, like, where are we going? And he's like, we're going to Elder. And he's like, what, why? What about Briellen and Jocelyn? And he's like, just, will you stop asking so many questions, Cross?
No.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she's
So,
just saying
yeah.
how she wants to make a difference about helping the people and like I want to do what's right. I want to help and he's just like
Yeah.
no, they get on the horse. Like we're going. Bye. So they're on the horse, relaxed, da 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 da. We know that we're not going back to Truro. We're going to Elder. We're in a
Elder, which is
new
another
location.
town. That's
So
like
she's
a
not
big
even getting
city.
to say goodbye and pack her shit. She's just off you go.
Yeah. Elder is like the biggest town, like a big city, I guess. So they're going there. And that's where Xavier is. And that's where like Evangeline is and everybody and the king,
But
I'm
it's
guessing.
funny because she's what's it that she says? Yeah, well, you always have someone who said, and he sighed, Xavier, and she's like, oh, my stomach twisted. My husband was an elder. She's like, okay, so she knows, but she's thinking that she might have to perform, and that would be
You know,
awkward.
what's going to happen when she's there? Will she have to be all in like attire and royalty gear and stuff when she's in the
Yeah.
city? But yeah, they're like riding a bit more. And then she says to him as well on the way
Mm.
there, like we talked about the barrow wolf packs. And she's like, oh, the pack from yesterday, is that normal size? And he's like, no, it was larger. Usually barrow wolves travel in packs of 3 or 4. And that one had like 7, didn't it? So something fishy going on there. And
Mhm.
why did they attack Ashmore? Like nobody said that that was a usual thing. Like, oh, that's no usual for Ashmore. We always get this pack of volt and we always like die every month.
Interesting point. Yeah, because now
Why
you
is
think,
it
is
just
it because
now?
the sparrow was there?
Yeah, but where she's there or like, yeah, is she pulling them forward or something? Is there something about her that's like,
Well, it's the whole thing where she can sense magic. So is that a factor in, yeah, like is she inadvertently doing something she doesn't know because
yeah,
no one's bothered to tell her or she's been hidden away? Anyway, we get to the sort of end of the chapter. Not much happens in it. They're just
mm,
riding. There's a brief
the elder?
conversation about that's where we're going. You should rest and she's like slumps back into him, and she's like knackered, so she ends up going to sleep after she's had that discussion about the pack and how many there usually are. And she's like, until somewhere in Shura, curled against the wrong man, I drifted to sleep. And you're like, the right man. So yeah, that's us come to the end of our discussion on these chapters. But
Do we know much more? No, we don't know.
Yeah.
Have we got more questions? Yes. Like, I've got no idea what's going on.
I think the coolest thing for me in this whole section was the whole kind of battle in Ashmore. The fact that she got out of Endor, aka
Yeah, she finally was
Trio.
like, I'm going to do something.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. I'm going to do something. I'm going to find out. And I'm like, yes, finally, go, find something out.
So the key things I think that we learned in these chapters were Xavier finally came back. She tried
Yeah.
to kiss him on the cheek. He has a child.
Oh, yeah. Don't miss that out. He's got.
Yeah, what was that about? He's hooked up. So, but the mother passed away in childbirth, apparently. King Ramsay is her father-in-law, but he doesn't know. Yeah, he's local.
He don't like to read. He doesn't like to read. Okay,
He likes burning them.
books only.
Yeah, and then she managed to get out secret spy work to Ashmore.
Well done. You did one thing right.
One thing. Jocelyn didn't do anything, but anyway.
No, that's a good shit.
Yeah, good shit.
Yeah, she finally went out. We saw Kathleen again. Very nice to see her. And yeah, she's starting to learn about Shura ways, but also more monsters. There's more monsters.
Yeah, and then they almost died by a bunch of barrier wolves who normally travel in packs of 3 or 4, but it was 7, so there's some weird shit going on there. And she had an opportunity to kill the Guardian. She did not.
No, she didn't. What's Lysa?
What is Lysa? And she's now curled up on a horse, snuggling into the Guardian, having a sleep.
Doesn't want to kill him now, does she?
And they're on their way to a new location called Elder, where Xavier is, apparently. So, yeah. I'm kind
What's
of...
going to happen next?
I need it to move now. It's getting a little waffly.
We need to get a few answers to be able to move the story along. Getting more questions is not working.
It is a slow burn, and I understand that. But to me, there's a slow burn, and then there's like a... I need something. Like...
To go.
And I don't mean just tell me what Lysa is. I need what... Yeah, I need more.
We need a mission. We need a mission to be like, aha.
We need a mission, yeah.
Odessa and the Guardian go off to a mission to solve this, and then that's where we get a bit more like understanding of them and a bit more background about what the hell's going on. But yeah, we need that.
Well, in that case, what are the next chapters we are to read for our next podcast episodes? And hopefully we have a mission and we know more shit.
So yeah, next week we've got to read chapters 32 to 42. So read chapter 42.
Okay. 32 to 42. Okay, well, you heard the ladies. That's it. You got those chapters to read. Yeah. We will be reading them. We will be back here.
Yeah. 32 to 42. Sorry. Yeah.
Which one? 32 to 42.
No, yeah, exactly. 32 to 42. Sorry.
32 to 42. Excellent.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be back next Tuesday to fill you in with what our thoughts and what happens next. In the meantime, please follow us on our social medias. We are all at Literary Labyrinth Podcast on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. And you can find us wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you can listen and watch us on YouTube and Spotify. But nevertheless, we should get reading. And we will leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. And we hope to see you here soon. Take care.
Yeah.